Hello, this is Clare Norman, professional certified coach based in the UK. And I'd like to talk to you today about mentor coaching. Mentor coaching is for life, not just credentialing. So a little bit about me. First of all, I've been a coach for 20 years and I've been a mentor coach and a supervisor for 8. I use mentor coaching myself to stay sharp and supervision to stay safe and sane. And I'll talk more about that as we progress through this podcast. So this is for you if you want to be the best coach you can be, but sometimes wonder what your blind spots might be. Or sometimes you feel like an imposter and want to boost your confidence that you're getting it right most of the time. Or you want to understand how mentor coaching could support you and other coaches around you. So we'll cover why work with a reflective practitioner, what mentor coaching is and how it's different from supervision, how mentor coaching challenges us to coach at our edge for the benefit of our thinkers, and how mentor coaching works. So let's start off with talking about the reflective practitioner. So it's important to know ourselves, to know our best selves, and to be self-aware about our impact on others. This is where reflective practice plays a key role through self-reflection, retreats, being coached, supervision, and mentor coaching. And this is really important work. If we don't do the work ourselves, we're unwittingly suggesting that it is not important. So how on earth can we expect others to pay us to support them to get to know themselves, their best selves, and their impact on others? So Peter Welch wrote in his article, What is Reflective Practice?, that it makes meaning from experience and transforms insights into practical strategies for personal growth and organizational impact. But self-reflection is not enough. Grant, Franklin, and Langford found that journal keepers were in some way stuck in a process of self-reflection and were primarily engaged in a process of understanding their personal behavioral, cognitive, and emotional reactions, rather than moving towards goal attainment. Reflective practice has been shown to be more effective when conducted with a skilled reflective practitioner of some kind. So that might be a coach, mentor coach, or a coach supervisor, any of the above. Bacharova found that coaches tend to be good at self-deception, so not able to shine a light on their own blind spots without someone else there to notice them with them. So coaching, mentor coaching, and coach supervision all help us to get over our delusions about our own efficacy. There are elements which are known to us, elements which are known to others, some elements unknown to us, some unknown to others, and combinations thereof that we need to uncover. And some of you will recognize that as the Johari window by Luft and Ingham. So mentor coaching enables us to become really aware of our blind spots, also our deaf spots and our dumb spots. And this was a phrase coined by Eckstein. And this is, if I explain each one, so blind spots are those things that we do not see in ourselves. Deaf spots could be those things that we don't hear ourselves or our thinkers saying. Dumb spots are the things that we don't share out loud, whether that's our intuition, a challenge, or a piece of direct feedback to the thinker. So that's how mentor coaching works, shining a light on our blind spots, deaf spots, dumb spots. Supervision, on the other hand, can help us to unmask ourselves, to be authentic and true to ourselves, to explore who we are and what's important to us. So I'll go into them in more detail, but suffice to say that mentor coaching and supervision in my humble opinion, are the most high impact, individualized, continuous professional development that we can invest in as coaches, with a reflective practitioner who can help us to be more self-aware of our strengths and our stretches. So let's dig deeper into the definitions of supervision and mentor coaching. First, supervision. So coaching supervision offers the coach the opportunity to discuss where the personal may be intruding on the professional. The kinds of things we bring to supervision are all self-reported. And that's key here, the self-reported element of supervision. So it could be what happened in the coaching room, our feelings about the client, our feelings about our own competence, our wonderings about ethics, so boundaries, conflicts of interest, dual relationships, confidentiality. But it's self-reported. So what makes mentor coaching distinct is that the mentor coach observes or listens and provides feedback to the coach. So there is nowhere to hide. It's really focusing on the development of coaching skills in particular. And so we bring a recording or a live coaching session to mentor coaching. And we cannot hide behind the self-report of supervision. So you can see already how distinct the two are. And the ICF requires us to have mentor coaching for credentialing purposes. And one thing to bear in mind is you should not mix up supervision and mentor coaching for the purposes of your credential. You really do need mentor coaching. You need to be observed and receive feedback against a benchmark set of competencies. In this case, those competencies would be the ICF competencies. So bear that in mind. They really are different and they give you different things. Mentor coaching keeps us sharp. Supervision keeps us safe and sane. So there are overlaps as well between the two. Of course, they're both about professionalism. We're all trying to heighten our professionalism and be the best we can be. They're both about continuous professional development, and they both attend to the person within the coach. So just because we are aligning ourselves with a set of competencies does not mean that we cannot bring ourselves into that. We are not creating cookie cutters by aligning with a set of competencies. We are enabling you to be the best coach you can be in your style. And then the other overlap is with ethics. So that quite often comes up in both. So let me dig a bit deeper and talk about how I go about doing one-to-one mentor coaching using recordings. Now, of course, other mentor coaches are available and may do it differently. This will give you a flavour for how one-to-one mentor coaching could work. So I meet with my one-to-one mentor coaches over Zoom, and we share the screen and share the audio of their recording. We stop and start the recording to reflect on their coaching competencies. So how did the contracting go? What are you noticing as you listen to this? What was going on for you at that moment? How might you use that as a piece of direct communication in service of the client? When you said X, that was an example of Y competency. And I wonder how you might increase your Z competency. So you can see how powerful this could be to be able to listen to one of your recordings with another reflective practitioner who knows what they're looking for. It's very different from getting feedback from your client, your thinker, who is getting a great experience. Of course they are, but they don't know what even better could look like for them. So this is how one-to-one mentor coaching works. In a group, I tend to bring together groups of 7 people, and each person coaches somebody else in the group with the rest of the group watching. So it's not going off into triads, it's the whole group, it's a fishbowl watching the coach coaching one of the other members of the group. When they're done, the coach gives themselves feedback first, one strength, one stretch, particularly related to the competencies. Then we ask the thinker for one strength and one stretch of the coach. And then we go around the observers. What did they all notice? And what did I notice? So the coach walks away with 8 strengths and 8 stretches, lots and lots of great learning there. But they also get to learn from watching other people coach and giving them feedback. And so they leave each session thinking about, what am I going to do differently in my coaching with my clients outside of this learning environment? So that's how group mentor coaching tends to work. And as I say, other mentor coaches are available. But when would you use each one? So as I've said already, I believe that mentor coaching and supervision are the most individually tailored and therefore the most high impact continuous professional development opportunities. But it can be confusing. When should I use which? For what purpose? So mentor coaching, we would tend to come to mentor coaching if we want to sharpen our competency edge, if we want to get better at the skill of coaching, because we are really putting ourselves under the microscope there. And so, as I said before, mentor coaching is for life, not just credentialing. So anytime you feel like your edge is getting dulled, or you're taking shortcuts, or you're building bad habits that you haven't questioned for a while, come to mentor coaching to really sharpen your edge again. But also, of course, if you are working towards an ICF credential or a re-credential, you will need 10 hours of mentor coaching for that. In terms of when to use supervision, well, when you want to stay safe ethically, when you want to reflect on your relationship with your clients, when you want to restore your energy, when you want to look at patterns of behavior, whether that's yours or theirs, and when you have an ethical conundrum. All of those things you can bring to supervision as a self-reported piece to talk about, to discuss with your supervisor, and to figure out, who do you want to be as a coach in those situations? And then also when the personal intrudes on the professional, so sometimes some of our own stuff gets in the way, how do we work around that, through that, over that, to bat the personal stuff away, or more often to work on the personal stuff so that we actually are resourced to work with other people. So that gives you an overview of the differences between mentor coaching and supervision. I hope it's given you a flavour for when you would use each one and how to distinguish between when to use each one. If you'd like to discuss mentor coaching or supervision, please do get in contact with me, Clare at clarenormancoachingassociates.com. And that's Clare without an I, C-L-A-R-E, at clarenormancoachingassociates.com, and I would love to speak to you. So thank you for listening, and go well.